Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Taste the Dragons, the Toddcast, video game podcast that all them Dragon Quest warriors listen to.
The slimes?
Yeah, the slimes, they have ears. Yeah. Sure.
Where are their ears?
They feel it inside. I think it's like the vibrations travel through them.
They hear by feeling.
They do.
Oh, man. I'm listening to Angry right now.
I can't change my appearance. I'm sorry.
Okay. I'm listening to Disbelief.
And Shock. Well, my name is Brian.
I'm Manda.
I'm Troy.
And I'm Katelyn.
And no Zach this week, but he will be back next week along with Lewis.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Lewis is coming back?
Who?
He is.
Who invited him?
Wait. He's in New York City.
He is.
Doing New York City things.
I know.
Playing New York City games.
I hope so. Maybe we'll have something to talk about for once.
He's had how many months since he's last been on the podcast? He must have at least played a game.
Maybe.
Right? Maybe. Hopefully.
It's only been like 3 weeks.
It feels like a million years.
Because we miss him.
We do. We really
do. I see.
We absolutely do.
I mean, he is listening since everyone listens.
Everybody listens to.
He better listen.
Yeah, right?
Lewis, if you're listening, text us right now.
As soon as you were listening to this, you text us right now.
It's been officially a month since the last episode we recorded with him.
Oh,
All right.
Hey, way to go, historian Katelyn.
Thank you.
That's, wow, way to take some minutes up in this bee.
I know. Could
Yeah.
probably hear flipping pages, too.
Yeah, 7-8 is the last time we recorded with him.
And that's on a pen and paper journal right there.
That is.
Guess what he played?
What?
Nothing.
All right, so it's been a month since he's been on the podcast, but about 3 months since he played something.
Yeah.
So hopefully he's got something.
Homeboy's playing life.
That's right.
You
That's
know?
right.
He's playing Rent.
Yeah. You guys know all about that, right?
Yeah, we
No, we have a mortgage.
Yeah. You guys leveled up.
do. We're playing
Or
termites.
down,
Yeah.
depending on how you look at it. Yeah, we're playing termites.
Oh, no.
We're
No.
at the point where we had termites and we got it fixed, but now we're like termite paranoid. Like I was in the kitchen and then I saw a little bit of dust on the counter and I looked up and there were spots on the ceiling, which is the sign that termites are burrowing through your ceiling.
Yeah.
And then I like waited. I was like, okay, can't touch it, can't do anything. I need a second opinion. It took me about 12 hours till I remembered about that. And then I was like, oh yeah, Mandy, take a look at this. And I looked at the little dust on the counter and then we looked up and then I was like, it could be termites again. Or just black pepper I spilled. And then I reached up to the black dots in the ceiling and scraped them away. They were just like little, like, I don't know, random food spots, I guess, or splash or something. But now I'm always going to be looking for termites.
That happened with us as well. We had termites in the upstairs bathroom, and we noticed that we caught it very early, so we got rid of it. So we're like, all right, we always look out for it. And then we had it again, where I think it was maybe about 6 months later, something like that. We're looking in the bathroom, like, oh, it's here again. Let's call him back up. Get him over here. So he comes over and he's like, no, that's just looks like dandruff or something. Damn it.
Aw. It's like embarrassing.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Well,
like,
we have that service where they just come back and we already paid for it.
Yeah.
So part of me is just like, whatever. Like, I'm just come back. It doesn't cost me any more money.
Our bug guy's really cool too.
yeah, so was ours, actually.
He
Yeah.
We
plays
talked
video
about
games, yeah.
Game of Thrones. We
Nice.
talked about Days Gone. Podcast stuff.
Aw.
And he's listening, because everybody does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hi,
yeah.
John.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
You're great.
We need to have business cards so you can hand them out next time and be like, by the way,
Yeah.
listen to us on iTunes, 5 stars.
We did that to a bartender the other day.
Oh, totally. Just getting pizza.
It was very organic in the conversation, but we left that bar with him being like, yeah, like, what is it? And he took out his phone. That's how serious he was.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
You need to write it on the back of the receipt. Be like, don't forget to check us out at tasteofdragons.com.
Yeah, sorry. So I just coughed a bunch.
We don't remember where we left off.
No.
So
Are we talking about termites?
we
Yeah.
were just giving an example of what it's like to be a 30-something gamer in couples with your own houses and rents and responsibilities,
yeah.
and being able to play the game of life as well as other regular games.
The life of game.
The life of game.
Yeah,
look
that's
at,
nice. I like
look at my
that.
wife over here.
Look at that. All right. Well, let's get into what games we played in this week.
What are you playing?
Oh, my Lord.
I like it. I like it a lot. So, Katelyn, let's start with you this week.
Oh, can anyone guess what I played?
Is it DDR Extreme, Dance Dance Revolution.
That's exactly
I
where I
love
was going
that
to go.
callback.
I was literally thinking, I was like, oh, Troy's talking. It's got to be DDR.
No, it was not DDR, sadly.
Oh, damn.
Huh.
It was Dragon Quest Builders 2.
Never heard of it.
No, it's no, I've never mentioned that on this podcast before. Funny enough, I have my tote bag from Japan from that store I was talking about last week with me today.
Nice.
So I'm
I like
still
it.
on chapter 2.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, I had to build a pool. So by the time I had finished building this pool, which was a big pool and all above ground, and there was like blackjack table, and then
In
there
the
was
pool?
a bar.
You're going to get
right
some
outside
soggy
of it.
cards if you put that.
This is the same place where you build a bar and then that bedroom with too many beds
Yes.
in it. On top of that, they want you to build a pool. This is a weird community. No judgment, but they definitely have a certain type of lifestyle.
So update on the story, at least our version of the story. So you know how there was that bedroom with all the rooms?
Yeah.
Well, they were like, okay, well, this one girl's like, we all known her since she was a little girl and we love her. So you're going to make her own bedroom. So you make her own bedroom, which includes a wardrobe. And then she dresses up like a Playboy bunny
That's weird.
Oh.
for the rest
It's-
of the
it's
chapter.
very weird.
She's not going around like talking about Puff Puff or anything.
No,
right?
she hasn't
Okay.
mentioned Puff Puff
Thank
yet,
God.
but I've been keeping an eye out for
Oh,
it.
God.
And then they're like, oh, well, we really love her. So we want you to give her a bathroom right next to the pool. And it's going to have a shower, and then it's going to have like one of those movable doors. And then it has to be share a wall with the pool. Yeah. So it can be right next
For
to
easy access.
that. Exactly. But they're like, you better not be peeking on her, though, because we'll all fight you for her.
Oh.
Did you build the relaxation room yet?
Oh, I'm working on that one right now.
Wait. So you all better not be peeking on her, not because it's a wrong thing to do, but because we want to peek on her.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, your
Yes.
competition.
Oh,
And they've all
Gross.
known her since she was like 3 or something.
okay.
And how old is she now?
She's old enough to be wearing a Playboy outfit and filling it out properly.
That doesn't mean anything in Japan.
That's true. I don't think they gave me her exact age right now.
Okay. I'm going to go with 19. That's
One
just
of them
that's
is
just
her
my age.
dad.
Yeah.
Still going with 19. Just going with 19.
So that's what we're on now, and I'm
Question.
working on a relaxation room.
Is the pool bigger than the bedroom?
Yes.
Yes.
Of course, because why not?
By far.
They need more space to swim than to sleep.
The pool has a second story with lanterns and stuff. That's about the size of the bedroom. It's very tiny.
Jesus.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm giving good reviews to this Airbnb when I leave. It's really crowded.
Yeah, I was about to say if you get to rent that entire thing and it's just you, 5 stars.
Yeah.
But you show up and there is all these people
There's like
lusting after, a dude's daughter.
I'm not even here trying to do no peeking.
No.
No.
And I
There's
went
like
to the
12 burly
relaxation
men.
room. There was some relaxing going on in there.
Oh, yeah.
The burly men wear long pants, and then they wear hoods with horns on them.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Right, so you can't see their faces, and then no shirts, just like those
Okay.
straps that go in like an X.
Okay, I'm back in.
So and they're buff.
Yeah, they are.
They're like
Yeah.
mining in the caves and stuff to get you ore, iron, and silver, and
That's
gold.
why you need the relaxation. That's hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely what they emphasize while you're building the level is like the bars so they can relax after work and the
pool so they can
bedroom so they
relax
can like
after.
chill. But there's definitely a certain degree of like, did she talk to you? Because like if she's gonna talk to you, I'm gonna fight you for her.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, just no. And I play a lady, so it's really like needlessly aggressive. It's
Yeah,
like, no,
so-
I'm not into the. I can't. My character doesn't talk, so I can't convey it.
You
but
didn't even ask me. I would tell
I'm
you.
not
but-
into it. Also, you should back off.
Hey, I'm rebuilding your town.
Right.
Do you want a bedroom or not?
Go take a swim. Go take a little swim. Take a dip in the pool.
Cool off.
Cool it off. Okay, go play your blackjack in the pool.
Yeah. Take a dip before I dip you in the pool.
And while this is going on, they're mining for, right now it's silver, but I'm almost caught up with the silver, to coat this golem that is trying to just, I don't even remember why he exists, but I need
Is
to
he
keep
trying to
making
do
him,
some peeking? Because I'll fight him.
he's just always,
is.
yeah.
Urgh.
He's always like sitting curled up and he's just like angry all the time.
But he also wants to sleep with the 19-year-old girl.
That's why he's
Okay.
curled up, because he hasn't yet.
Okay. I think I'm good on Dragon Quest.
And this is only
Jack-
chapter 2.
Dragon Breast Builders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really glad you didn't talk about this, Manda. I really appreciate you not bringing this part up during your during the previous weeks. Unfortunately, somebody else didn't get the memo, but whatever.
No,
it is what it
don't
is.
worry. I'll be keeping you abreast of the situation.
Oh no.
Wanted to space the weird out. It's still a really good game.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially, it's a building game.
Yeah.
It's a building
Yeah.
fun game. It's fun.
And all of the weird stuff is all tongue in cheek. It's all
Yeah.
like they're like winking at it, but it's not.
But still, they're gonna fight you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is a game.
Yes. And I will continue to fill you in on the fun stories.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate that. How about you, Troy? What did you play?
So to continue from last week, I delved deeper into Clash Royale. I'm sorry, Mandy. It started last week as like, oh, this like drug that like I haven't had for a while. Oh, let me just get a little bit. Let me just see what a little bit of this is like, because it's laced with a little something, just to tie you over, and reminded me of the good old days of 2016. When we got married, and it was literally the day before my wedding. And I spent 3 hours the night before nervously playing Clash Royale on my phone, sharing a bed with my best man.
He did make it to the wedding.
Yes.
He did. That is very true.
Clash Royale helped me, through all those nerves and stuff. So I spent more money in it because I spent $5 on the Game Pass.
Yeah.
And then there was only 3 days left. That's my bad. The new Game Pass came out. It's another $5. I was like, well, I didn't really get to understand what the first one was like, so let me get into the second one. And it's a great game still. Still advise everyone to play it. It's still super fun. And it's a better game because of the $5. But I'll leave that alone. Play with me.
You know how I know you've been playing that? Because you haven't been playing Ascension.
Oh, no.
We got a new expansion pack. We got a bunch of stuff, and I'm just
you're
like,
right.
like before it used to be like, it'd be like every other day maybe. It's fine.
All right.
But now it's been like 4 or 5 days. I'm like waiting by the phone for a call.
Oh,
and
man.
just
You're going to get
Yikes.
how many games have you not touched in a week then?
Oh, I've touched a lot of
No,
games. Don't
No,
get me wrong.
the Ascension.
Oh, like 6. Listen,
Yeah.
so for those of you at home, Brian and I have a 2-year ongoing game with Ascension Chronicles of the Godslayer. It's a fantastic tabletop game that they converted into an iPhone game, and it is a great mixture of strategy and luck. And we play every single day, a lot,
Yeah.
except for the last 2 days that I've been playing Clash Royale.
It's been pretty fun. Like it's fine. I'm getting some from my side piece. I mean, it's only 3 games, but it is what it is. We don't have the newest things, but it's okay.
Listen, I vow to be more attentive.
Okay.
To my wife, who is totally not giving me dagger eyes right now.
Not at all.
Yes, that was my main. Yes,
She is
that's
sitting
where I
right
was going.
between you two.
Yes, I have noticed.
She gets in
Indeed.
between us a lot, Troy.
I know. Well,
Get rid of her.
we get between her and your wife.
Yeah,
a
I
lot.
know. It's true. I'm actually also in between her and my wife, so
This
it's
is all
fair.
planned,
Yeah.
I'm just back here watching the fun.
which is the best place to be.
It is.
Peeking over there.
Now that we've convinced the audience that we have a swingers podcast,
Not knocking it. Hey,
Hey, no,
whatever
hey.
you're into.
Yeah.
Every podcast people out there.
That's right.
I'm sorry. The actual game I wanted to talk about is a game that actually came out this year. It was originally released in 2017 as a PC game and then came out for the PlayStation in May and I believe the Nintendo Switch in June or July of this year. It's called Slay the Spire. Has anybody heard of this?
I love this game.
You've played it?
I played it when it first came out.
You would play it
I
when it
s-
first came out.
And then I stopped for a little while. Then they came out with the Daily Climb, which is
Yes.
different rules every single day.
Yes.
So then for probably about a good month and a half, I played it every single day, the new thing. And
Really?
then every now and then I go back into it and I play for a couple of days. And
Okay,
whatnot.
Katelyn, let me break down
Yeah, tell me about
the
this.
craziness because you're a card person.
Yes.
You play the Magic.
I play the Magic the
So,
Gatherings.
so Slay the Spire is essentially a deck building card game.
Okay.
You start with 10 cards, and it's a video game, but it kind of acts like a tabletop card game.
Okay.
You get 10 cards that are very low, and then you fight a monster. If you beat that monster, it'll give you a card that's better than the cards you have that you add to your deck, and then you fight more monsters. You continue, until you have a very nice, powerful deck. And Every once in a while, they'll have story beats as you're going down like a branching path. Whether you come across, an ancient, crystallized wing, then there's something tucked underneath it. Do you go and grab it and get cursed, or do you walk by and don't, or do you learn from it? Like, you get some options in there. So it sprinkles that in, and it sprinkles in artifacts. So like you can start the match with more strength, or something like that. So it is a card game like that, pretty standard, except the clincher, the ringer, the catch, is that if you die, you're kind of going through a set to like a dungeon. If you get defeated by a monster, you go back to the start of the game, and you get to keep a few things, so you're a little stronger going in a second time, like Spelunky, like a roguelike, or Rogue Legacy, things like that. So they've mixed the deck building aspect of card games, tabletop card games, with the video game aspect of roguelikes. Going in and continuing to get better a little bit every time, and then smash them together to make this game. And like Brian said, yeah, it is surprisingly addictive.
Yeah, it is. Like Ascension is a deck building game.
Yes.
So, and that's what this is as well. It's just that you are fighting monsters while continuously building into your deck.
You don't have to wait on a Brian to
you
get back to you, or a Troy who doesn't.
So, let me ask you this: you guys have been playing the same game of Ascension for 2 years, you said?
Yeah,
correct.
How long is a game of this?
Oh, they have not been playing the same game of Ascension.
Oh, okay.
They've been playing Ascension, and they play a new hand. A hand takes a few hours.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it's not too long.
A full match is probably a day.
Okay.
If we're like active, a day and a half.
And then
Yeah,
how
for us.
long for this game?
It depends. So you go as long as you can go before you get defeated. So the first time, my first run was 2.5 hours, which I think they did not expect me to do that well on my first run through.
Yeah.
But I did. I got real lucky with the cards, and now I'm just in my second playthrough, and it's been about 40 minutes about an hour of me playing this new run through, and I haven't died yet. So, so about 2.5 hours per run, and if I'm only going to get more powerful, then maybe that'll be quicker or longer. I don't know.
Free to play?
No, it was $24.99 on the Switch.
Yep. And then also, if you have a PC, this month's Humble Bundle, it is included with this month's Humble Bundle.
It was actually produced by Humble Bundle. I always want to say Humble Bumble.
Yeah, I know. It is, but yeah, and that's $12, and then that includes. So that's Slay the Spire. I forget the other game for the month that they already tell you about, and then you'll get extra games as well at the end of the month.
Cool. So far, I definitely recommend it. It's not a story-driven game, so you're not getting a lot of narrative. It's just, this is a cool mechanic, and this is like a fun mental activity to be involved in. I'm enjoying it. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. It's been so long since I played just the regular mode because I've only been playing Daily Climb.
Yeah.
As you're saying stuff, I'm like, that's new. Because they've been updating it this entire time. So I'm just like, that's okay. All right, cool. I learned something new now. All right.
Slay the Spire. Check it out.
Nice. Very cool. Very cool. Manda, what did you play?
I've still been playing Final Fantasy XIV, which is no surprise because there are a million hours of content, and this is just my second week playing. So my Conjurer's level 30 and my Marauder's level 20. So I'm definitely in the very beginnings of the game, and I had some interesting things happen. Firstly, the players in queue notification. Do you get that?
I don't believe. Oh wait, yes. When you first log in.
Yeah. Is that real? Because every time you go to log in, a little pop-up box comes up, and they're like, "You can't log in at this second because there's 12 players in queue." And the first time it popped up, I didn't click anything, and I was like, "Cool, all right, I'm 12th. I'll wait." And then about a minute later, I was like, "Are they still not logged in?" But now I just close the box and open it 3 or 4 times, and then it just lets me in.
Okay.
I'm very confused about how their queue works.
Yeah, I think it's because I also get that as well. I get the same thing. Sometimes it's like 38 players, but it's always like the same amount of time. I think what it is that because they condense the servers down into data centers, and since everybody can play with one another in those data centers, I believe that is hey, we're letting people in blocks. Yeah. So okay. I think that's what that is. It's probably just to help with all of the server load overall.
Part of me was like, the evil part of my brain was like, it's because you're on the trial. It's because you're not paying.
No.
Second question. Do you often find that you're not wearing pants?
I mean, generally in life, tell me about it.
Listen, if I wasn't here right now.
Woof.
It depends on your job.
It depends on the pants.
Yeah.
Because I keep wearing the best gear because my main class is the Conjurer, which is a healing type. So I definitely want to have good armor because I don't have the big hits. And right now my character is wearing like a long shirt, and then I get it because like the shorts that she's wearing go with like really high boots, and the division of clothing evens out when you have the tall shoes. But I've recently gotten a very short pair of shoes that were much better than my tall shoes, so it just looks like she's running around without pants. And as like a person who's played MMOs before, I want to be like, no, I'm not that person. I'm not that lady rocking around without pants, like dancing, asking for coins. Like, no, that's not me. But this is my best armor right now, so don't judge me.
Wait, can you dance and ask for coins in that game?
If you want, yeah.
Every
Yes.
MMO, you can strip
You
down
just
to no
slash
clothing
dance.
and slash
Yeah,
dance.
there's actually one of the servers, I think it's Bahamut. I think that's what it is. It's an RP server, so you actually can just go onto that and
What
dance.
does RP mean?
Role playing. So it's a role playing server. So you can
No
like,
gaming.
You game, but like when you're in town, you are your character. You're not just like asking like, hey, does anybody know at level 30, blah 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 blah. You're
have
just
to
like,
commit.
oh, by the way, you know, da 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 da, you know, yield. Yeah, exactly.
Come to the Chocobo farm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Sexy Chocobo dance.
Yeah.
50 cents, 50 gil for a peek.
Yeah. So yeah, I do know that people do that on that server.
So I would like pants.
It's funny because I actually my game of the week is also Final Fantasy 14, and so but playing it, I was like, we're doing like voice recording for the show that we're doing. So during that, I'm like, I don't want to like go into a dungeon and like be clicking a lot of things with my mouse and with my keyboard and stuff like that, creating noise. So I'm like, I'm just gonna do some fishing. Let's put on some of my fishing clothes. So I put on fishing clothes and like I play a girl in there, so like my boobs are all out because like whatever I'm wearing is just a boob shelf is going on as I'm fishing. But I have pants on, so that's a plus. But my main job is a dragoon, so I'm like completely armored up. Like there is not a speck of me hanging outside this armor. I don't even think my neck shows. Like it's
definitely an imbalance in the designs because if I was wearing the full outfit that belonged with the shorts, like I didn't notice at all. It was just that I was wearing a combination of two different looks, and whatever it was just me running around without pants.
and that's okay. Sometimes you gotta make that coin.
No, I went and bought pants.
Are you one of the bunny ladies?
No, I'm one of the cat ladies. The
Makote.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Makote.
What's funny is I also just learned how to pronounce that because I always wanted to be like Makit, something. And then one of the cutscenes I just saw that just happened that actually said Makote. I was like, oh, okay, good. I know that now. So, okay, cool. So you're still enjoying it though?
I am. My favorite part so far is and this may have been a realization that I should have come upon a little while earlier, is when I finish quests, they usually give me gear that I can't wear because it's like, oh, that's not nearly as good as what I'm wearing now. So, but instead of getting it for my main character, I just pick up the armor for my lower level job, which has been great because every time I level up my lower level job, I already have like really awesome armor like waiting for me. So that's been good.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Very cool. So as you just heard, my game is also Final Fantasy 14. As I said, I've been doing a lot of fishing. I got my fishing levels up by about 10. I think I'm like fishing level 35 or so now. And fishing is a little boring. I will admit. It's a little boring. It is not.
Breaking news here. Fishing is boring.
Well, like some games, they kind of make it into like a mini game. Like
Stardew Valley has the best fishing ever in a video game.
It's one of the hardest as
Yeah.
well. But I agree though.
Best. It is active.
I am not good at it.
Whereas this, it's like, all right, let me put my bait on my hook, which is already on there. So, but you can like choose whichever one you want. You hit number key 2 to cast your line. You look at your pole to see once it starts wiggling, and then you hit 3, and then it reels it in, and that's fishing in this game.
That's what you do when you like watch a movie.
Yeah.
And then like you just listen for the sound effect, and you're like 2, 3.
I was just like reading like Facebook and whatnot. I'm just like, all right, let me hit 2. I can wait like 5 seconds. Let me look up. Yeah, it's wiggling 3, and then I just go back to read some more. All right,
Can I ask a fundamental massive multiplayer online question
Yes.
to
Sure.
our MMO friends here. A lot of times I hear a story like that where it's like, oh, I'm mining or I'm fishing or I'm fighting while I watch a movie, read a book, do all these other things. What's up with the game? That it, like what part? What is when I play a game? Like I'm in the game and I'm not doing anything else.
Yeah.
So what is the allure of half being into the game and half being into something else? Like,
I think
or
it's just
what is it that's not drawing you fully into the game?
It's just like with everything. Everything just becomes a little monotonous depending on what it is. So especially if you're just hitting 2 and then 3, 2 and then 3. It's just but it's not like it's not like it's boring. It's just one of those, all right, I'm just kind of in a groove. I'm just, doing
Well,
my
I guess
thing.
then, what are you getting from that?
Fish.
I'm grinding.
Yeah, you get levels.
You get the grind.
Yeah.
So
and
so
then-
it's about when you get the levels, then you're like, oh, that's good.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
good
like
feeling.
you're still seeing your XP bar fill up,
But is it fun while you're doing
it
like
is
in this,
multitasking.
in this Half-Life?
It has
playing?
the same fun as like a clicker. And sometimes I want to play a game where I'm fully immersed 100% in the game. And sometimes I want something that pairs with something else that I'm doing. If I'm listening to a podcast, if I'm watching TV, or like sometimes I want to do more than one thing. And then it does fill in that really well, as I can kind of do something passively. And that's not necessarily negative. I was about to say that
Right.
it'd be cool if they made some of that into like an app. If I bought like a MMO and then they were like, hey, these crafting classes are on an app, that'd be a great way to incorporate like the MMO into the rest of my life.
I agree.
I think
Yeah.
this is more like an app game of just like, I'm going to passively play this for a little while and then.
Yeah, and then I'm done with it. I agree. That would actually be a perfect thing for it. But it's funny because like the crafting classes that you have in there, like your armorers, your blacksmiths, those actually are, you have to pay attention and you can only like certain actions. You can only do a certain amount of actions for each item. And then depending on how the item reacts to what you're doing, you have to search, you have to do other things.
there's
So
some
it's
more
an active
activeness
thing
to it.
to it. Whereas the gathering classes are all just passive. So and I'm with Manda, like it's one of those sometimes I'm just watching a movie or something like that, but I do kind of want to do something else with my hands. So this would
Okay.
fill that in, and then vice versa. Oh, I'm doing something with my hands. I kind of want to do something with my eyes, even though this isn't.
It's its
stimulating.
own category of
Yeah.
entertainment.
Agreed.
I guess I'm a little afraid when I one day start Final Fantasy 14 because I'm playing on the PS4. It takes up the main screen.
Yes.
Like I don't know if I have like I don't know. What am I going to do on the side? I don't have another screen.
You absolutely do not have to play
No,
any
you
of those
don't.
classes. You would not lose out if you don't do those. And most of the things that are like gathering classes, you can just buy that stuff in the market.
Exactly.
But
Yeah,
then
like
but
most
that
of
takes
this I
grinding
can.
for money.
You can grind for money that way, or you could just play through the main story, and then you can get like a good drop on one of your dungeons, and then you can just sell that. There's a lot of different ways in this game to make money, to make experience, to just have fun. Like that's what I was doing when the voice recording. For the most part this week, I was just playing the story like just straight.
Right.
Because I realized there's a lot of story in between expansions. So
Got to get to it.
and so I'm still not even into the main expansion that
Stormbringer?
there's
Stormkeeper?
Shadowbringer.
Shadowbringer.
Shadowbringer, yes,
Is the latest
the
one.
newest one. The one before this was Stormblood.
Stormblood.
I still hadn't finished that yet. I hadn't even gotten into that one yet.
You're still in
So
Heavensward.
I had finished Heavensward, but there was story in between Heavensward and Stormkeeper and Stormblood that will patch it into one another.
Okay.
But they made so much story. So much story. I'm like 2 or 3 days like deep into that, and it's still like,
is
oh
it
no, it's
good?
good. Oh no, it is very good.
All right.
It's just that because it's been 2 years since I played, they're like bringing back characters. I'm like, I don't really remember this. But it is great though, because the story is fantastic. That is
Cool.
is one of the best things about it.
Good.
Which kind of brings us into
News.
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 So, I guess since we were talking about Final Fantasy 14, first bit of news is Final Fantasy 14. They announced not with this next patch, but the patch after that, they're going to be condensing this story. as far as I believe it's going to be just the main 1 through 50 quests. I think it's just going to be that. I really hope it's the in-between quests as well, because like I said, I'm like three days deep, and I'm still in between.
Yikes.
It's good, but I really do like a lot of it could be condensed. So
there's definitely a lot of like you run to an NPC and then they introduce themselves, and then at least where I am, and then I'm like, hey, I'm looking for this guy, and they're like, I haven't found him. But there's these weasel men over there that you could help me with, and then I go and help him with the weasel man. When I come back, he's like, "Oh, now I've seen it," and it's just like, I feel like you saw him before.
Yeah,
but if they cut all that out, you'd still get all of the main. Just the side junk would be gone.
Exactly, and those side ones also don't really award you a lot of XP anyways.
Yeah.
So even if it does, they could probably just condense that XP into the just smaller quests.
This might end up working against me trying to play the game, actually.
Oh, because you want to wait for it?
Yeah. Like, I don't know why I would jump in right now and then do a bunch of grinding that may not be necessary in a couple patches.
So you can go, back in my day, we had to play through all the quests.
No, that's like Zach's thing. That's your thing. Yeah, I want to be the fresh new kid that didn't earn it.
Yeah.
Well, they said it's 2 patches away. How often do these patches come out?
The next major patch, I think, is in a week or 2. And
There you go.
So it's probably about a month and a half
So when
away.
I get back from my trip, I should be fine.
You should be
As I
okay.
originally planned.
Yeah.
Jump the gun.
Yeah. That's okay. It's a fantastic game.
It is. It's a lot of fun.
It better be.
And then, so our next bit of news is going to be Pokemon news.
What about it?
They released a new trailer that showcases a lot of new things that are going to be in the new game. So they have the new Galarian forms of stuff. So they have Galarian Wheezing, which looks like 2 green smokestacks. I'm gonna go with smokestacks. With but they're supposed to be top hats, and like they have like beards and stuff like that. It's pretty weird.
100%.
So they're hipster wheezing.
Yes.
Even the smoke even looks like bad facial hair.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's hilarious. Then Zigzagoon as well so it's gonna be. Oh, I know, it's the best. It's the best name.
Did you just throw in the end of that Spice Girls song?
I did actually.
Zigzagoon.
Zigzagoon has a Galarian form, but it just looks like the newest Kiss member. It's like Zigzagoon like listened to Kiss and was like, that's me. I'm going to become a roadie now. So it's pretty awesome.
I'm going to cough again. I'm sorry. I'm going to...
Well,
So, okay.
I feel better.
I do feel better.
Okay.
All right. So we good?
Are you going to forget what we were talking about again?
I got
We
it.
did stop
Zig.
at the end
Okay.
of a segment.
So yeah, and then the next one was more Pico, something like that.
What does that even mean?
That is it looks like this generation's Pikachu, but it has
Is it like eating avocado and
basically. Okay, so what it
Sounds
is
great.
struggling to get a
so
job?
it's the first one with 2 different forms that it can switch between during battle. So it can be full belly, so it's all happy and whatnot, and then there's a hangry form.
Wait, is it actually called hangry?
It's called
Yes.
hangry, and he
What?
becomes a dark type at that point.
He
That's
gets
racist.
angry eyes and turns purple, and he's hangry.
He's hangry,
Okay.
and then if you feed him something, he turns back into the full belly mid battle. It's
Okay.
pretty great. And then so because this is set in Britain, or what's supposed to
It
be
is?
Britain.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, so it's basically set in Britain. So one of the gym leaders has her own form of hooligans called Team Yell. So soccer hooligans, it's basically that, but they cheer on one of the gym leaders, Marnie,
Aw.
and it's pretty hilarious.
Liverpool.
Yeah, like you actually like see her throw out probably during her gym battle. You see her throwing out her Pokeball, and behind her is the people cheering her on. It's pretty hilarious. So I was, as soon as I saw, I was like, oh, I'm really glad they added hooligans into this.
Yeah.
I'm excited that it's London based, kind of.
Yeah,
I'm in for that.
yeah. That's why it's always like
The London countryside.
Yeah, people are talking about her like Molotov cocktails is what she's going to be using instead of Pokeballs. It's pretty great. So yeah, that was the Pokemon news. I believe that was because it was a 2-minute trailer and it showed all that off.
Okay.
So
Makes me. I'm excited. They don't honestly need to show me anything else, and I'm buying it. So
They didn't need to show anything. Period.
Yeah.
And people were like, "Oh, Pokemon. Yeah, I got this.
Pokemon for the Switch.
Here's
Yeah,
my
here's
money.
my money.
Here's my money."
Let's go Shield. Woo! I want that Shield puppy.
Sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sword.
It's fine. No, fine. Have your sword. I'm going to be a Shield puppy.
That's
It'll be
just gonna
fine.
make it so you two can trade better.
Yay.
Yes, that's right.
That's exactly
See what
it's
happens
for.
when you drop that sword. Can't drop my shield. My shield is my main.
How do you know? Maybe that sword's also like its tongue.
Gross.
Yeah.
No, I don't like thinking like.
Neither do I.
Pokemon
We
like that.
shave the mane off. Does that?
You can't. It's a shield. Blocked. Try again.
Its weakness is sharp as metal type.
Yes.
All right, and then our next bit of news is the Ooblets outrage.
Oh my god, I love
I
this.
don't even know
So-
what this
The
means.
name alone.
So yeah, I know. I thought you would like some alliteration in that. So Ooblets is a game that's basically like a cross between Pokemon and let's just go with Pokemon. It's basically Pokemon, but you're collecting these little things called Ooblets. And it got kickstarted, I think 3 or 4 years ago. I forget how long ago it was. And so on the Kickstarter, it's at the time there was only Steam. So it's like if you back it, we'll release it on Steam and DRM free. And then last week they said that it was going to be an Epic Store exclusive. So it's not even releasing on Steam anymore.
Oh, I did read about this.
So the reason why they did it though, she leaned in.
Mandy hit the
I was showing you what
microphone.
an ooblet was.
So
Death threats. Oh,
yeah,
Oh,
so they released this. So the reason why they did it though is because Epic's actually guaranteed them a certain amount of sales.
Oh,
So
okay,
they're like,
okay.
all right, you're going to get this much sales, so you're guaranteed this much money.
Mm-hmm.
And until even if it doesn't reach this, you're still getting this much money. So for them, it was like, oh, this is great. This will allow us to create more games to actually do what we want to do with this. However, the letter that they wrote was a little snarky.
Oh.
Yep.
It was a little snarky.
I read
Yep.
about that.
It wasn't death threat inducing, but it was a little tongue in cheek. Like,
Yeah.
hey, this isn't. There's a lot more things going on in this world than video game stores.
Yeah, it's our game. We're doing what we want to do.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's just that a lot of people, the backers, are just like, well, you said you would release it on Steam. It's like, well, Epic Store didn't exist back then, man. And
Right.
Epic Store gave us this deal that will allow us to do this.
Yeah,
But
the developer just kind of misread the moment.
the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And went for the joke when people were a little more serious about it.
Yeah, and in reality, yeah, you just have to install another free storefront. I get it. It's another storefront.
I already have GOG. I already have Steam. I already have Bethesda.
It's just that people are like, well,
Now I gotta get Epic.
what about my achievements? There's no achievements in Epic Store. There's no this. There's no
no
that.
trading
I don't
cards.
have friends. I don't blah 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 blah. And I get all that. I absolutely do. But the developer, because there's only two people. There's only two people who are part of
right.
it, and both of them were just started receiving just a flood of death threats and all this other stuff, which nobody's going to carry through. But it's still really scary to get that all of a sudden out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Really unnecessary.
Really unnecessary.
Out of game abuse.
Yeah.
Chat.
That mixes in also with the thing that happened with E3 and the info leaking.
Oh,
I think I read somewhere that they did attend E3, so I don't know. Possibly their addresses would have been leaked out
oh, yeah, that's
because
right.
E3 accidentally leaked a bunch of press,
The press,
and developers and people who attended and got those type of badges. A bunch of their info got leaked like a week
Yeah,
and
it
a
was
half, 2 weeks
2,000
ago.
people.
Yikes.
It was a accessible file on their website that they didn't hide. They didn't do anything. And then, so when it first came out, they were like, they removed the link immediately. Like, all right, great. However, if you just typed in, if you knew the exact link where it was, they didn't remove the file.
Ugh.
They still had the file on the server. So if you knew the website, if you knew the link to it, you could still download it, which is what happened. Because before, like, somebody released a YouTube video of it. It's like, hey, this is a thing that's a problem. But they've already really, taken away the leak or the link.
Oh, but the
It's
YouTube
fine.
video had
But
the
the
exact-
YouTube video had the
Exact
exact
URL.
link URL for it. So people just type that in, like, oh, well, now I have 2,000 addresses of game journalists. But, people will never abuse.
Never.
No. So yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, there are stuff might be on there too. So yeah, it's something that's just stupid. It was like what we went to like 2 weeks ago with the whole just online abuse and whatnot, which we'll get to later.
Yeah, as a general PSA for everyone listening, since everyone is listening,
everyone's listening.
Sometimes people lie to you, and maybe don't threaten to kill them. Maybe be the better person.
Be upset if you want to. That's totally fine. But death threats might be a little extreme.
Maybe
if you really want to upset them, just don't buy their game.
That will hurt more than anything.
Yes,
it will.
So at the end of the day, Epic's still going to pay them. So.
Yeah, they will. So yeah, that was a little sad news. It was just one of those, man, just why? There's other things. Like literally
Come on, y'all.
Read their letter again, and if that applies to you, then maybe take another look at things.
Take another look.
They released a second letter.
Yeah, they did.
Saying, "Hey guys, so the past 24 hours have kind of sucked. I got a lot of death threats.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I read.
This ain't cool. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't mean to misread the room, but this ain't cool.
Yeah.
Let's
don't
try
be
to
like
be better.
That.
Yeah.
Please.
Be the bong Pokemon you want to see in the world.
Yeah. Don't be the hangry form of you.
That's right. Be the Galarian wheezing that we all know you can be. So then our next piece of news is that Rocket League is going to be subbing out loot boxes. So they're going to be getting rid of loot boxes.
I got to be honest. I've played some Rocket League over the past month, and I've gotten loot boxes. I have no idea where they are.
Well, the thing is,
I see that I get them, and I go to open them, and I can't find them. I don't know where they are.
Well, you can't open them because you need keys in order to open them that you need to pay for.
But I don't know where to get the keys either. I don't know where.
You have to buy them
I can't
with
even
real
look
money.
at it locked and be like, oh, I
Yeah.
wonder what's in there.
Yeah.
I just don't know where it goes. So sure.
So yeah, they're getting rid of it, and they're replacing it with just regular cosmetics, things that you can purchase.
What else are you going to do to your cars? I have a mohawk on mine and tusks and a Canadian flag. What else do I want?
Troy and Bobby made their cars look like Bebop and Rocksteady.
Nice.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, we're pretty proud of that.
You should be. That's pretty awesome.
Thanks.
Do you guys play a lot of duos?
No, we used to go with the 3.
Okay.
Back in the day, we did duos when
Yeah.
we were on the competition level.
Uh-huh.
But for funsies, just 3. So we can blame it on someone else if we lose.
Of course.
Right?
Of course.
Right?
Yeah. That's what you play for.
Yeah. It's not me. It's not you. It's them.
Which brings us into our next topic, which is...
Brian, I'm feeling a little peckish.
Not
That's
that
not
topic.
that topic.
Oh,
He meant
I
part 5 of the
misread.
news.
He's there at the room.
I misread that eye.
You really
Side-eye.
Ooblets that.
Oof. That was an epic fail.
Pay attention for next
Yikes.
week when everyone starts sending Troy death threats.
Right? It's just going to be all me.
But it's all about me not playing Ascension.
No, the next topic, which would have been a good segue, which not anymore, is that console. Now, if you want to put loot boxes on your console, you have to disclose the percentages
That's
of
fair.
everything. Which, I mean, they've had that in China for, I think, the last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roughly the last year. If you wanted to do a mobile game or anything, if you have a loot box in China, you have to disclose it.
I think they had that on Apex Legends already.
Yeah.
And you said that Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo are all doing
Correct.
this.
Yes.
Yes, all the
Good.
consoles are, but if it's a PC game, it still doesn't have to. At least of right now, outside of China.
I think that's important. Like, I'm not opposed to loot boxes in general, but there is something shady about having loot boxes and not disclosing what the percentages are.
Agreed.
But here's the problem. Sorry, go ahead, Katelyn.
No, you go first.
So there is, with Apex Legends, there's someone who knew the odds and knew if they bought this amount that at least one of them would be the one that the drop they needed. So they proceeded to buy more and more and more and more and more, knowing that if they buy 100 of these, at least one of them will be what they need. But it wasn't until the last one. And so it was this hope of it's 101, but maybe I'll get it on the 10th try or the 20th try. But now they just continue to sink voting. It was more than 100. It was a lot that this person put in just to get the one drop. But because they knew it would happen, they kept putting money in, which is
The addictive gambling thing that we prevent through regulations, or
well, it's like he knew what he was doing. Like he knows that he was spending a lot of money, and it was just the fact that he spent so much money that he couldn't walk away now without the thing that he went in for. So it compelled him to continue to spend more and more money, so at least he would get it, and then felt horrible about it.
Yeah.
It's like a different mindset almost.
It's a sunk cost fallacy.
Okay.
It's one of those, I've already put $5 into it. Now I have to do this other thing. It's like, no, you really don't. You can just cut it off and just be like, well, I just lost $5. So that's fine. It's just, it's a certain mindset. It's the same exact thing with casino and stuff like that, where it's like, I've already put $10 in. Well, I've already wasted. If I don't play anymore, I've wasted that $10. Whereas if you just cut it off, you'd be like, well, $10 it got some use to it. At least I'm not wasting more. So yeah. What were you gonna say, Katelyn?
It's looking at it like with each drop, you might have 5% of an item or 5% of a chance of a drop. But even if you buy the same item 100 times, you might have been really unlucky, and each of those you hit the 95% and get that 5. Yeah. It's not necessarily cumulative.
Exactly. And then that's the other thing people have to realize. Like, I think with Overwatch, though, I think it's every 50 loot boxes. If you haven't gotten a legendary in those 50 loot boxes, you are guaranteed a legendary on the 50th one.
Not the one you want.
Not the one you want. You are just guaranteed a one of them.
Ain't that the truth, sister?
And so I do like those types of systems where it's like, all right, you have a percentage, and then if you don't get it in this percentage, you are guaranteed one. And this.
I wish games would just do both. You can either loot crate and get the things randomly, or if you just want to buy it, just this is how much the coins are and this is how much it'll cost. And it'll cost more than you probably want to spend. But then that would get rid of like I spent $100 and didn't get what I wanted. Because really, at the end of the day, I mean,
Overwatch does do that. They have the league token. So if you want that really cool Zenyatta skin, it's going to cost you $15 or $10. If you want that Mercy skin that's really pretty, it's going to cost you $10 to $15.
But don't you get the coins through loot boxes, or can you just buy straight coins?
You get those coins from either watching the league online,
but
or
not with the regular content.
Pay real money. Yeah. You can't.
Just the league ones.
You cannot get it through playing the game.
Okay.
Yeah, but there are separate coins inside the game that are that are the actual costumes in there that you can get coins from just playing it, because if you get a duplicate, it'll give you coins. Yeah. Or you can also purchase coins as well, and then just buy the specific one you want.
Yeah, that doesn't sound as bad.
So the owl tokens, can you use those to buy non team related skins?
No,
only
specific team related skins or special skins that aren't team related. They're just pretty or
it's a different storefront inside of it.
And that's the thing. Like, for example, in League of Legends, if I really wanted this one Ashe skin, I can, no matter what, I can give $15, I can give $5, whatever it is, and I can buy that skin. If I wanted the Zarya Halloween skin, I don't have a way to pay real money for it unless it has those owl tokens now, which is a little annoying. I wish I could just give the $5 or $15 and just buy the skin I want, even if it's more than I'm paying for the loot boxes.
Like, Destiny lets you buy a certain amount of their like elite equipment, but you can only buy like 5 every week. So if I wanted the full set, I would have to log in every week and buy stuff. But then I don't have to do the loot crates. And I think the more we have a combination of both, the healthier it is, maybe. And I have no scientific information behind it. It's just my feeling.
Sounds like a tasty topic of the future.
Yeah, that would be something interesting to look up.
Yeah.
I'm also really curious to see how much better drops start getting now that they're going to have to release this information, because there's no way that the information they'll be releasing will be accurate to right now. They're totally going to have to make it look a little better by saying, oh, no, you have a little bit higher of a percentage chance than it actually
I would love if they didn't change anything. Because every time you lose, you like, just as a person, you get the mentality to be like, I bet they're keeping me from getting it. Yeah. I bet the man has a system. Yeah.
The man is keeping me down.
It'd be great if they released it tomorrow and it was just like, oh, no, it's just me. It's just me.
Yeah, because of the China thing, and I do hope this does spread to PC and everything else. Anything that has a loot box, I do think you should know the odds. And with mobile games, it does seem like most of them now, because of the China, they have to disclose it. They just disclose it for everything. So I don't think there's a mobile game I have on my phone right now that doesn't have the odds disclosed to you. It's like, well, you have 3% to get this, a legendary, but then it even breaks it down per item. So in your legendaries, you have 0.013% to get this specific one, but this other one is weighted higher, so you have a 1% to get this one. And so they even break it down per item, not just per rank. So which is pretty cool. So yeah, we'll see where this goes. See where it goes.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, most certainly. And so Troy.
Well, we were talking about Pokemon earlier, and there's that one new Pikachu that is hungry.
I think
he's
it is.
hangry.
He's hangry.
Well, right, and you need to give that hangry Pikachu looking thing something to eat.
I think so.
Something to snack on, something to nibbly bits on it. But what I don't know what we could get it though.
I don't know.
Something savory, something sweet.
What do you think, Katelyn? Do you think?
I need something tasty. I need something that'll get this. I need something.
You mean like a tasty topic?
Ooh.
No. I hope that bit becomes longer and longer.
I think so.
Soon we're going to be like, welcome to the Toddcast. And then I'm kind of hungry.
45 minutes later. Nom, 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 nom. So I believe, Manda, you have our topic this week, correct?
Yes, our topic this week is a follow-up from 2 weeks ago where we talked about harassment in video games.
Okay.
2 weeks ago, we talked about a report that came out from the Anti-Defamation League that said that 74% of people who played video games felt like they had been harassed.
Okay.
And we talked a little bit about our personal stories with harassment and how we felt how we thought the industry should handle that harassment. And since then, I did some research specifically about some of the things that we suggested, and I found that we were entirely wrong.
Oh, good.
You know what? Hey, we're right about being wrong.
At least we're all together in this.
Yeah.
But the information that I found, not only was it extremely positive and kind of uplifting, but it counterpoints our wrongness in a very positive way.
All right.
To start at the top, there's a lot of positive things happening to combat harassment in video games. The main one that I found, or the one that I liked the most, was the Fair Play Alliance. It's a collaboration of video game developers who came together to discuss these things. So some of the big names were Blizzard, Microsoft, and Riot Games, although there were, I think, 200 developers in total. And what they do is they kind of come together with psychologists and scientists and like data researchers to determine how to solve these things. And one of the coolest things was that they were doing all of this collaboratively. So despite the fact that they were different companies, they agreed that this was so important that any person making a breakthrough in this area could help the entire industry. And actually, it was funny because some of the largest offenders are in this group.
Oh, yeah.
And they said that one of the things that had changed so much over the past few years is, like, if you talked about this, like, even 2 years ago, people were like, you just need to suck it up. And that's just they said there were even developers that were looking for those players specifically. Like, that's our target audience. And they said
what players specifically?
Like the players who
The
are
toxic
harassers, the players who are toxic. Like that's totally our audience. They said in as few as 2 years, that's completely reversed, where kind of the entire industry has agreed that this is a problem.
Good.
So that was very positive. One of the things we suggested was Prisoner Island. Do you guys recall? Put all the bad players together and then have them fight.
Yeah.
Gonna be mean. Be mean with other people who are gonna be mean. Leave us alone.
So they said that promotes bad behavior because those bad people are just going to continue to be bad with other bad people.
Yeah, but it makes us good people feel vindicated.
But what they found is if they do the opposite, if they take the good players and they pair them with newcomers to their game, that they sort of teach people the behaviors that they would like to see in the future. Is like when you enter an establishment and you see everyone acting a certain way, you have a tendency to emulate those actions. So if they're like, we take the good players, we put them in the front, and then when you start to play League of Legends, like there are just people who understand you and who are willing to help you, people that might not be so upset if they lose as long as you learn how to play. That people are less likely to be angry.
You know what makes getting into games with better people easier? Prisoner Island. If you don't have any of those people playing regular games, I mean, then all the newcomers are only with good people.
That's fair.
I think that only improves what we were saying.
Brian's a half full kind of guy.
You're damn right I am.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
I agree.
I think if it works that way, if it does breed, like, hey, I'm an example of how you can play this game as a decent person, and someone goes, yeah, I'm going to be like that person. And then that person one day becomes a good player and then helps another new player come along, and that cycle continues, and you'll have a bunch of decent players. Unless they're a-holes, I guess. Some people are just... Yeah.
Well, you see it with Fallout 76, for example, with a bunch of people leaving out good, like, water and food and stuff for new players, where they know the new players spawn, to try to help them instead of bringing them down. And I know it's made me not feel as skittish when I'm going up to a player in the wild, and they actually will just, like, try to give you stuff, because they're like, no, we want everyone to succeed here. They don't, because I guess I don't live on a island in this game.
Yeah, because they're all on Prisoner Island.
And something else really positive that they found is that when you play video games and you have, like, the toxicity coming at you from all over, it's hard to, like, as a player, define, like, specifically where that's coming from. But they found that really there are, like, 1% of 1% of people are just generally toxic all the time. Mm-hmm. Everyone else with the toxicity has a tendency to be like someone who's having a bad day, or someone who's toxic because everyone else is toxic. In League of Legends, they started something called reform cards, where if you do something offensive and it's reported and they verify that it's offensive, they'll send you an email with the offensive thing that you said. And they said 97% of the people who got reform cards did not harass people in the future. Is that just knowing that their behavior wasn't okay and that someone was recording it somewhere made them, incentivized them to not act that way.
Is that like getting a referral in high school? Like if you mess up?
That's what I was thinking.
It's not like detention, right?
Stays on your permanent record.
Yeah. So you get a referral and it's like, hey, staying on your permanent record. You may not get into college. Here you go. But we want detention.
And that's what some people do. Some people just keep on ending up in the principal's office. Other people go, oh, there are people looking at me. Well,
right.
I should probably, I should probably just not do that. Because if I do it again, I will be on Prisoner Island.
Or or is it with these was it affirmation cards?
Oh, referral cards.
Reform
cards. I apologize. Reform cards.
Reform cards. They are telling them why or what they did
specifically.
That was wrong.
Yes, they'll give them evidence of, like, this is what you said and this goes against our code of conduct and you cannot act this way. If you continue to act this way, your account will be permanently banned.
I do feel like some people don't realize it and are just like got the blinders on or just doing their thing and this is just normal and whatever, and then someone's like, that's not okay, and you're like, I was doing that. My bad, or something like that. Like our friend Max we play with on Overwatch, he can have a bit of a toxic streak in him, and he can be kind of proud of it as well. And then as we were playing the other day, and Mandy was doing this research, we brought it up as we were playing with them, and instead of him being like, no, I don't do that, he was like, yeah, I do sometimes do that. And then me and some other friends, we're constantly now trying to promote positivity, and it has been working. If he doesn't think it's as cool, or we're not laughing at it because we generally don't think it's that funny, he tends to focus more on the positive stuff, or not go out of his way to be a butt beat. I don't want to say.
You didn't want to, but you did. It's just like, with toxicity. You don't want to, you just did.
Because it was funny.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need someone to be like, hey, you're not allowed to curse on the podcast.
That's right. It's not funny.
But then I'm like, I haven't cursed on the podcast like in such a long time. I've earned one or two.
And then you might get an email with a card
Joe's
that's saying that's not
you.
right.
Wow, I can't wait for podcast hell.
Yeah.
With me and Anthony from the Tater Talk, you, Joe, cursing up a storm over here.
And then they had some really interesting topics for future things that they plan to do. And some of these they talked about releasing even as soon as the end of this year. Is they are inventing new systems to detect feeding, which is like when you're dying on purpose.
Yikes, I would love that.
Yep.
Frequent quits. Like if you keep saying like, oh no, I lost my connection, but really you quit. If you
Love
do that over and over and over again. And they said that both of those are a banning offense. So if you do that continually, they would consider turning your account off.
I'm here for that.
Yep.
And then my favorite is they said that they have new machine learning software that's going to be applied to voice chat. So if you they've been data mining chat, like text chat, for a very long time.
This is what we talked about.
Yeah. Did we do it again?
We might have gotten one right.
Yeah, we're good. First, it's Prisoner Island, and now this. I think we're doing pretty good.
Prisoner Island doesn't work, okay? But the AI, it'll detect like offensive words or phrases
in
or
voice chat.
abuse or creepy stuff.
Hopefully, it also detects context as well, because
Right.
I think it's one thing to like say it to your friends, just be like, oh, you're being a blah 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 ha ha ha, and then you're being friends, and you're just saying this just to one another because you're razzing each other.
Yeah.
And then another thing to just be like, actually, no, F you, you're this, you're this, you're this.
Like how many times I don't know how many times I've screamed like F this or something like that, just out of anger, but it's not directed towards someone.
Oh, sure.
But then I could also say, oh, F you, Brian.
Yeah.
But I can mean it like, oh, you're being silly or something like that. Or I can mean, oh my God, F you, you're such a bad player.
Or there's very simple ways to go on your own private chat audio thing. If we're
That's
friends,
true.
we can group up on our own friend chat and say whatever we want to each other.
Discord.
And same thing with if you're playing by yourself, you can either not say that stuff or like mute yourself if you're not actually using it to communicate with people. I mean, so if they do it that way, I could see some change happening.
And that's
if
definitely
you wanted to do it.
Well, that's something they addressed in the Fair Play Alliance. Is that one of the topics they brought up was we want to fix the harassment, but we don't want to like be the fun police. We don't want it to tell you though you can't say those words or you can't have fun with your friends. It's like no, we just want our games to be a safe place for everyone to play. Everyone should feel like they're included and can still have fun. It's like we don't want to take the competitiveness out of video games. We don't want to make you feel like you can't be yourself, but we just want to make it safe.
That's got to be heartbreaking for a game developer to make this amazing game that they're very proud of and then turn it over to an audience, and then because of something that of other players, people aren't getting to experience what they made. And that's like, I didn't develop those toxic players. That's not part of the game that I made. And like Zach, like he doesn't want to play Overwatch because of those people. Like that's a shame.
I don't blame them. That just happens.
Like you don't want to play Dota. That's a shame. Nope.
I don't play League anymore.
This is a shame.
Yeah.
Shame.
There was one game, I forget who it was, but he had a like a tweet feature inside of it where she's like, oh, have other people know about this and do this other thing, and it actually integrated within the game and with the developer and all this other stuff. I think it was within like a week of it releasing, though. It was just a whole bunch of just stream of like racist, just toxic stuff, and the guy actually had to turn it off, and he was super bummed about it because he took a while to actually develop this one specific portion of the game that could interact with Twitter and all this other stuff, and then nope, he had to turn it off because it just wasn't good.
And I know it may all seem very daunting and very negative, but a lot of especially the larger publishers that I looked up, they all have researchers and enhancements that we're making to their games to try to make them safer. The biggest, one of the adjustments that I looked up was Blizzard's Overwatch released their endorsement feature. Tori, can you explain endorsements?
So pretty much after a match in Overwatch, you have an option to kind of congratulate your own team members if they were a good teammate, if they just played their part very well, if they were a shot caller, it means that they made a play or made a big move that you appreciated, or you congratulate the opposing team of just like good sportsmanship, like well played. And by doing that, if you get endorsed, you have your own specific level that will rise up to 5, and then randomly they will give you loot boxes based on whatever your score is. So you don't.
That's cool.
So you're encouraged to always have it as high as possible because you never know when that prize will come.
And they say since they released that feature, harassment on that game has dropped 40%, so 40% in 12 months, which has been great. And then they said League of Legends released a feature so that I want to say it was League, between games they'll give tooltips, and some of the tooltips that they released were things like when you yell at other players, they play worse. Is that the if you can build up their confidence, you're more likely to win. And then they said that since they started releasing those tooltips, harassment has dropped by 7%.
That's good.
So there's like small changes, and they're finding places to make things better. So hopefully some big stuff will come towards the end of the year, and we'll start seeing more inclusive, more diverse, more safe environments in video games.
Yeah, and 7% sounds like not that much. However, that's, for every 100 times this could have happened, now it's only 93 times. There's 7
Right.
people who are now, don't have to deal with that for every 100.
And League has such a large player pool.
Yeah. Which, league-wise, that means it's probably like 7 million people who have now.
Yeah.
heard this.
And if you play League, I would highly recommend going to look up some of the stuff they're doing. I think they're very well aware of the toxicity in their game because they were, of all the companies I looked up, they were doing the most.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, very nice, tasty topic.
Yummy.
Yum,
Ooh,
yum, yum.
part 2. That was a dessert.
It tastes better than 2 weeks ago.
It's like those leftovers that taste better when they're like slightly older.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like stale Chinese food's better than fresh Chinese
Cold
food.
pizza. Yeah.
Have
Yeah.
it cold, get a nice beer, good to go.
Oh, now I want Chinese food.
maybe one of these times. And now that brings us to our Dragon of the Week.
Ooh.
It's the Dragon of the Week. Yeah, it's so sleek. It's the Dragon of the Week. Come on, take a peek. Dragon of the Week.
Ooh.
Dragon of the Week is our time to spotlight an industry professional who we just like to talk about and show a little love for the people who make the games that we love to play.
That's right. And hopefully their notes won't get deleted in the middle of talking about
No,
them.
that's what happens when you write them down with a pen and paper. They don't.
Somebody could just run by and rip that apart. You never know.
But that would be
Who's
harassment,
running up
and
here?
that would be bad.
Considering we're closed, yes, I don't know. That would be really bad for all of us. So I believe this week's Dragon of the Week is you, Katelyn, correct?
Yes, I am finally doing another one because I'm not good at this type of stuff, but I
You're pretty
really
great
wanted
at
to.
it.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm good at writing the notes. I'm not good at talking about the stuff.
Walking?
Talking. Okay, just to start off and preface this, there spoilers for Life is Strange, the first season. I believe it's specifically episode 4.
Okay.
So just throwing that out there because I really like that game and I don't want to spoil this for anyone that could be listening. But that'll be towards the end of what I'm talking about anyway.
All right.
So I did Ashley Burch.
Okay. Who's that?
She the thing that she originally got on the board for was hey Ash, what you playing?
Okay.
Yeah, but she's also done the voice of Tiny Tina in Borderlands.
Ooh.
She voiced Chloe, and then in Life is Strange, and then she's what's her name? Aloy.
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 It's pronounced Aloy.
Okay.
Aloy.
Okay, Aloy in Horizon Zero Dawn. So yeah, so she's mostly a voice actor, but she also does writing as well.
Sweet.
She was born in 1990, so she's like 29 years old.
Mm-hmm.
She grew up in Phoenix, Arizona, to parents that were Thai and Eastern Indian, so they were super protective. They were like so nervous. She was not allowed to leave the house. Even just walking like 10 minutes down the street, they thought she was going to get kidnapped. So her and her brother, very introverted.
Oh, that's my mom.
Yeah. Very sheltered, very introverted. So to pass the time, she would play video games, and she really loved writing, and she got her first start with writing fan fictions for Sailor Moon and Final Fantasy and Batman Beyond. Her favorite one was she wrote one where she gave Terry, I think that was his name,
Yeah,
in Batman
Terry,
Beyond,
yeah.
cancer for some reason.
Oh no!
Yikes.
Oh, yeah, like she was
Uplifting
just like,
stories.
Yeah, she didn't like writing the action or anything. She just really liked writing stories. So she came up with like these random complex stories, and she would just fanfic.net.
Sweet.
Yeah. So
Hey, it's good for something.
yeah. So she was really stressed out to get A's in school, and her parents pushed her to get a college degree. So she went to Occidental College. I believe that's how I don't know how you pronounce it. Whatever.
I
In
remember
LA.
Accidental College.
Yeah.
It was,
She went to college
my
in
couch.
LA. That's what got her out of Phoenix, Arizona. And she slowly started realizing her love of writing, but also her love of voice acting, which really kicked off when she played Metal Gear Solid with David Hayter. The first time she saw the credits and she saw his name as Snake, and that's when it clicked in her brain. Oh, people do the voices for this stuff. This is a career. This is something you can do. So that really pushed her and helped her with the passion. She always loved video games. She suffers from anxiety, and when she was really young, one of the few things that could calm her down was playing Harvest Moon.
Oh, hey, that is very true.
Yeah, she's one of our sisters.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's great.
she knows.
She absolutely is. Aloy, Harvest Moon. This is great.
Yeah. So, before she went to college, though, she started Hey Ash, What You Playing with her brother Anthony, which it was online videos on YouTube. It started in 2008. It was really quick videos, only a couple minutes long, where every week it would just be like she's playing something and her brother would come up and be like, Hey Ash, what you playing? She'd be like, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. And then she just like, they do some random video. Like for the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time one, she was just like singing, making up words to the songs you would play on the ocarina. And it's like, Epona, come here, you stupid horse. Stuff like that.
Internet.
Yeah.
I remember when the internet was nothing but that.
Since they weren't allowed to do anything else during the summer, that they had time to just crank these videos out. So every week they were making a new video and pumping them out. And they did up to 5 seasons. The last season was 2016.
Okay. Wow. All right.
So production value went up. Let's see. My notes start getting a little weird at this point.
That's okay.
In 2012, she did her first VO job. It was her brother actually wrote for Borderlands 2.
Oh.
So that's where she got the job for Tiny Tina, and she actually did some of the mocap for it as well.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
That's one of the best characters in that game.
She's my favorite.
Yeah. Hey, nepotism. It's always the strongest category, strongest hiring process.
She loves complex stories and that are done in an accessible medium. So she's really big fans of like Into the Spider-Verse and the Lego Movie, where they it's very more geared towards children and family friendly. So it's really accessible and understandable, but at the same time, there's like a complex story behind it with family and all that stuff.
Nice.
So she wrote for Adventure Time, and actually the reason she could not do the mocap for Horizon Zero Dawn was because she was writing for Adventure Time.
Okay.
That's cool.
Because one of the writers, I think, got pregnant or something, so they're like, oh, we need a fill-in. And she was like, well, I want to be a writer. I write a little bit, and...
Check out this fanfic of Terry from Batman Begins getting cancer. Adventure Time.
And they were like, this is exactly what we were looking for.
Finn gets cancer. Done. All that radiation finally caught up with them.
But what really made me want to do her this week is I was listening to an episode of Between the Sheets. That's one of Critical Role's podcasts. We all know
I get it.
Yeah, Between the Sheets is Brian, I can't remember his last name.
Cranston.
No. Interviewing different people who have appeared on the podcast and then just like finding out about their life. And when in 2012, she actually, her boyfriend that she met at one of her previous jobs filming a movie called Must Come Down, OD'd on painkillers.
Oh.
So she went through and was talking about the opiate problem in this country and talking about him and everything like that, and how she's used that with some of her voice acting work. Like for specifically for Life is Strange, in chapter 4, I believe it is, Chloe finds this girl that she's in love with named Rachel, her body, because she gets killed. Yeah. And that happened. She recorded those lines roughly 2 years after her boyfriend died. Yeah. And like this was the man she wanted to spend the rest of her life with. That was her person. So, but she bottled it up a lot because, as you do when you have someone who died like such a tragic way, such an unexpected way, and it's something like drugs and whatnot, you have that, you blame yourself a little bit. Sure. Things like that. So she found it so cathartic to have that release filming that line, because she actually didn't know until she was in the voice at both. She didn't read the script until then. They're like, by the way, you need to check the next few scenes, like read the pages ahead of time so you can see where you're going to be taking Chloe, because you're going to need a minute. And then she read that and she just like let it all out.
Wow.
But
I didn't know that, but I felt that.
Yeah.
No. Scene.
I actually went back and rewatched the scene afterwards. Not a good idea. But she ended up she really like related to Chloe, which was weird for her. But that because originally when she was trying out for Life is Strange, she tried out for Max, the other female lead. Right. Because she's a much more introverted person, and she was like, I can relate to that with my anxiety and whatnot. But then having Chloe, she was like, she seems like a rebellious teen, but not the average rebellious teen, because like there's grief and there's other layers behind this with losing her dad and her mom marrying this jerk and stuff like that. So she ended up like twisting the dial, and it ended up she was great in that role, and it actually won her first award. I don't remember what award it was, but there was one. And
An
then
award.
An award.
Yeah.
But sadly, she did not come back to voice Chloe in Before the Storm because there was the SAG-AFTRA strike going on.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
So, but luckily by the end of the strike, they were about to start filming the final farewell episode. It was a bonus episode.
Oh, right.
So she came back to do the voice for that episode.
Oh, okay, cool.
And then her most recent major video game work, Horizon Zero Dawn, as we all know. Like I said, she couldn't do the mocap for that one because she was writing Adventure Time at the time, but she did do all the voice work. Also won her several awards.
Oh yeah, it was really good.
She was great in
deserved.
that.
Yep.
That's Brian's favorite game of all time.
It is.
Yeah.
It's my number one.
And then she will be back in Borderlands 3 for Tiny Tina.
Tiny Tina
Ooh.
2.
Yeah, we've seen her in the trailer, and she's already said that. And then another video game that recently she did the voice in, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3.
Ooh.
She was Nebula.
Nebula.
Ooh.
Nice.
She was also Nebula in the Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale game, I believe.
I played that as well. Also good work.
Yeah. And then, of course, I was Googling something earlier, so it moved my page. Da, 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 da.
Yeah, her portrayal in Life is Strange as Chloe is really just phenomenal. It's not overstated. It's very natural. It's very believable, especially with such an eccentric character that could be taken into a place that's very caricature or stereotypical. I just found some really nice nuance, especially in the scene where there's some time hijinks happen, and she's actually confined to be a person on her deathbed.
Invalid.
Oh, that whole part of the game tore my heart out.
It's really good work. She's incredibly talented.
All those types of Telltale games, and even those games in general, it's got to be so hard to do, writing and voice work for, because there's so many different, planes that it can go. And
Many
it's
more
just
hours of content.
Yeah, exactly. And then
Yeah.
you could be like recording something that takes an entire day to do that nobody will ever hear because
Yeah.
it just won't go to it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. But she's done a bunch of different video games, a lot of smaller roles, but she's done a few voices for Fallout 4, but they're like smaller characters. She's done Battleborn, she's done Fortnite, that's the one I was looking for. Dota 2, she was Sarah in Final Fantasy 15. I don't even remember that character.
She was,
you
it
know,
was
Sarah.
important. Wasn't she Lightning's sister?
No, that's 13.
That's Sarah.
Yeah.
Wow. I am very far behind.
But yeah,
15's
Yeah.
the one with the car.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know my video games.
I'm cool. I'm hip.
But the next thing she's going to be doing is video game related kind of, is the Mythic Quest that is coming out for Apple TV. That is being done by Charlie Day and that other guy from It's Always
that's
Sunny.
right. Yeah.
The
She is-
game developer
Yeah.
sitcom.
Yeah, she's right. She wrote part of it as well as acting in it.
Okay,
Ooh, so
right
we get
on.
to see her.
Yeah.
Good.
Good for her.
I'm excited for everything she's got going on.
Yeah.
right.
But
And will
And,
have going on.
she's awesome.
She's younger than me.
Yeah.
I'm not
she's
bitter.
older than me, so I'm okay.
Can we have her name one more time?
Ashley Burch.
Perfect.
Yeah, she spells
Ashley
Ashley
Burch.
without the E.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Very
Yeah.
good Dragon of the Week.
Wonderful
Thank you.
dragon. Well done.
Yeah, see, like you said you weren't good at this.
Yeah, I rambled a lot.
That's
So what?
wonderful.
Yeah,
The whole
but
point.
we found another lady who likes Harvest Moon. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Not just any
Win-win-win.
lady. Aloy.
Aloy likes Harvest Moon.
That's canon.
I'm there.
That could totally happen. She's
Oh,
in one of like the
absolutely.
old ruins and she finds like a little like gateway and she's like, oh, I don't know.
This game's amazing.
They end up creating one of the dinosaurs that have a TV on it. It's almost like a Teletubby, but it's the dinosaurs that she's
Yeah.
hunting, and then you can play video games on it.
Yeah, you can hack into it. And
Yeah.
Whatever you want.
Also, making a Harvest Moon game where the main character is Aloy would be amazing.
Oh my god.
Where you like have little monsters.
So
Basically-
now I'm totally going to the next Harvest Moon game that comes out. I'm going to make my character look as much as Aloy as possible.
Yeah.
I love it.
Done. All right. Well, fortunately, that brings us to the end of this episode.
Aw.
Sad.
Ba-doo-ba-doo.
No Nancy Drew news this week.
But as always, we record live upstairs inside of Tate's Comics,
Woo-hoo.
powered by our friends with 2000 Brigade.
Ooh.
I am here. We are them.
We are them.
Yeah.
You can find us online on tasteofdragons.com. Also, our Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
And Twitter.
That's right.
And Twitter. And what was this week's ranking of dragons?
Well, this week we looked at our good friend Darby the Dragon.
Oh.
Possibly one of the lamest dragons I've ever had the privilege.
Not the lamest.
Y'all
He's
still
the
said he
third
was better than
lamest.
Mushu.
Yeah, he has his own theme song.
Well, here's the thing. For me, his lameness came back around to work as a positive because he's so lame.
He is.
I don't know if you guys
Aw.
saw enough of that video.
Oh, I did.
That is a lame
Yeah.
dragon.
It's a lame dragon.
His theme song, though, was stuck in my head for a little bit.
Yeah.
But Darby the Dragon was from a PC game in 1996, and it was just like a click adventure thing. Really silly. I kind of want to play it.
He's got like 4 frames of animation. Like it's a real bad.
So
But he has his
dumb.
own theme song that 2 people sing.
It's true. It's
And
true. In good harmony.
Oh yeah, oh it's pretty great.
And his dad, I don't know if you guys saw he's a dragon prince. It gets a little further where you see his dad, and his dad looks like a bad mother effer. Like, I'm scared of his dad. He's just sitting on that throne. Looks like Smog. Ugh.
Oh, I feel like that's going to be another dragon, the ranking of dragons later on.
Darby's dad.
Darby's dad.
I thought you meant Smog. I was like, yeah, we'll definitely do Smog.
He ranked as our new number 12, right above Mushu.
Yep, because he's
And
got his
Luke.
own theme song.
That's true.
Mushu sings, though.
Yeah, he doesn't have his own theme song though.
Mushu knows what he did.
And Darby, as far as I know, hasn't killed another person.
Well, then what kind of dragon is he if he can't even kill another
The
person?
good guy.
Whoa. Don't be stereotyping dragons up in here, okay? Dragons come in all shapes, sizes, and different personality types.
That's right. Although I will say that theme song sounded like they were making it up as they were going along. They were harmonizing, but it was still very like.
Kind of rhymes.
So yeah, that was this week's Taste of Dragons.
Oh.
What's up?
And quick shout out to
Yeah.
sister podcast, Tater Talk.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I got to get a listen in this week. It was really great. Some more boys coverage.
Yeah.
Of which I had to go hover on the mute button, but in like a happy way.
Did they actually talk about it this time?
Oh, we did, yeah.
Instead of
Yeah,
just,
no, it
okay.
was great.
Yeah,
And
we
I
did.
caught up on things, so I was able to be in the know.
Yeah, that is our sister podcast that if you are into comics and entertainment, that's where we talk about that. I'm on that one. I also host it.
Splendidly so.
Our
I do
producer,
okay.
Joe, is also on that
That's
one.
right. She is on that. You can hear her voice.
The elusive voice of Joe.
That's right.
Well, she's been on 2 of our episodes.
She has. She has.
That's why it's elusive.
It's elusive. It's like that shiny Pokemon. You see it every now and then.
No, I don't see shiny, Brian.
Okay, well, not you, but you, Troy.
All I see is shiny.
That's right.
It's just shiny bong Pokemon.
Oh, man, what do you think that shiny looks like?
Purple smoke. It's going to be a lame shiny.
Purple haze is what you mean to
Yeah.
say.
I think it's going to be clear. Or it's going to be like
And then
rainbow
you're gonna
color.
see a little bit of green at the
You can see the green. Well, as always, my name is Brian.
I'm Manda.
I'm Troy.
And I'm Katelyn.
And that was this week's Taste of Dragons. Have a great week, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Darby the Dragon.
Yeah, start breaking out in Darby. Go.
How many dragon songs do I need to sing this week?
All of them. All of them.
Darby the dragon rhymes with Darby.